Welcome to Story Time with Grandma G. This story is for our grandkids, our great-grandkids, our grandnephew and nieces, and all children everywhere who enjoy a good story. Today I'm going to read Terry Don't Get Bit by That Donkey, Book 1 in the Terry Don't series. This is a Terry Don't story, an adventure about a little boy whose mom said, "Terry, don't!" So often he actually thought his name was Terry Don't. In this story, 10-year-old Terry runs into unexpected trouble at an unusual ball game in his tiny town of Rudd, Iowa, population 369. One Saturday, as Terry ran out the back door to play, he hollered, "Bye, Mom!" She smiled and said, "Bye, Terry. And Terry, don't get into trouble." With a cheery, "I won't, Mom," he jumped on his trusty old red bike and rode off, looking for adventure. He whistled cheerfully as he pedaled down the open country road, the wind ruffling his hair and the air smelling delightfully of fall leaves and ripe apples hanging from the trees. "Boy, it's sure a good day for a bike ride," Terry thought. "I'll go to town and see if my friends want to ride bikes with me." As he got close to town, he began to hear all kinds of commotion coming from the school grounds. "What in the world is going on?" he wondered. "I gotta go see." As he rode up to the ball field, he came to a sliding halt. Families sitting on the bleachers were laughing, cheering, and shouting at the action on the ball field. "Oh, wow! I don't believe my eyes!" he exclaimed. Out on the ball field were real live donkeys, and the grown-ups riding them were trying to play softball. Terry saw that when a batter hit a ball, he'd try to get on the donkey and get the donkey to run, but those long-eared critters all seemed to have minds of their own. Some planted their feet and refused to move. Some tried to shake the riders off their backs, and others simply ran the wrong way. "This is the funniest ball game I've ever seen," Terry snickered, and soon was laughing so hard he fell to the ground holding his sides. Suddenly, one of the big furry donkeys bucked his rider off and dashed wildly all over the field. Terry watched in amusement as all the players ran around in confusion, yelling at the stubborn donkeys. The crowd loved every minute of it. "Hey, look!" someone yelled. "There goes a donkey! It's getting away!" It escaped from the ballpark and trotted right past Terry, heading for an open cornfield. An announcement from the loudspeaker blared, "Will all you kids please help round up the loose donkey and chase him back here?" "Oh, boy," thought Terry, his eyes sparkling with glee. "I'm going to get that crazy donkey." He took off running after the donkey as fast as he could. "I'll be the first one to get the donkey. I'll chase him back to the field, and I'll be a hero," he was thinking. As he raced across the field, he began to realize that he was the only kid running after the donkey. "All right, I'll get him all by myself. I don't need any help," he thought. But as he got closer and closer, that donkey started looking bigger and bigger and meaner and meaner. All of a sudden, the donkey stopped, turned around, and looked right at Terry. "Uh-oh, maybe I should have waited for the other kids. What am I going to do now?" he wondered. So he started running at the donkey, yelling, "Hey, crazy donkey, get back here!" But that turned out to be a really bad idea. It made the donkey so mad. It shook its head, stomped its feet, and charged right toward Terry. Snap, snap, snap went those huge, yellow, stinky donkey teeth. "He's trying to bite me," Terry gasped. So he turned around and ran like crazy, straight toward the parking lot. He heard the donkey's pounding hooves and snapping teeth right behind him, getting closer and closer. "Oh, man," Terry was thinking to himself, "I'm in big trouble now." With his heart pounding and his lungs ready to burst, Terry dashed into the parking lot, feeling the donkey's hot breath on the back of his neck. Just in the nick of time, Terry dived through an open window of a station wagon. Whew, I'm safe at last, he sighed in relief. But before he could catch his breath, woof, woof, woof! A huge dog jumped up from the back seat, barking and snarling fiercely. Are you kidding me? He thought. Ah! Screamed Terry. He saw the donkey standing still outside the car, snapping his teeth, just staring and waiting for him. I gotta get out of here, Terry thought. So he jumped out of the driver's window and quickly crawled into the car. Panting hard, he tried to catch his breath and figure out what to do next. Soon, although it seemed like forever, people came and got the donkey and took him back to the ball game. They were mumbling about the little boy who took off all alone to get the donkey, but they didn't notice him hiding under the car. Terry was glad they didn't see him because he was sure he'd get in trouble for trying to catch that donkey all by himself. At last, everything calmed down. The ferocious-looking dog went back to sleep, and the men and the donkey were gone. Terry cautiously crawled out from under the car, dusted himself off, and ran lickety-split to his bike. Oh, man, Terry thought, looking back at the ball field. He'd gone after that donkey all by himself and almost got bit. He knew he could have been in big trouble. Mom's warning, Terry, don't get into trouble, was ringing in his ears. He thought, boy, oh boy, I really did it this time. He figured he'd had enough trouble, so he'd better go home. As he rode his bike away from the ball field, he started thinking about how funny that donkey ball game was. He just laughed and laughed all the way home. When he got home, he jumped off his bike and ran inside the house. Slam went the screen door. Terry, how many times do I have to tell you, don't let the screen door slam, hollered his mother from the kitchen. Sorry, Mom, he called. A very relieved Terry stumbled into the living room, plopped down in his favorite chair, and thought, wow, what a fun, exciting, crazy day. Grandpa Terry grew up in a small town in rural Iowa before smartphones, the internet, fast food, and more than 3 channels on television. He had his imagination, his bicycle, and his friends to have fun with, and he did. Back then, kids created their own adventures. Terry and his friends had the freedom to jump on their bikes and seek out those adventures in, out, and all around the town, including the woods, the creek, and the nearby farms. His Terry Don't stories were inspired by his actual growing up experiences. Terry thoroughly enjoys combining his love of storytelling with his talent for producing professional videos. Terry now lives in Arizona with his wife Jenny and their children and grandchildren. I hope you've enjoyed this Terry Don't story. See you next time.